All right, fellas, and three, two, one. Good morning, and welcome to your Wednesday edition of the Morning Jog. My name is Matt Cohan, and I am joined by two honorable Americans, Francis Ellis and Robbie Berger. Hello, boys.
How we doing today, fellas?
Hi. Hey, everybody. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Robbie, can you just show us what's in the background there? That photo?
I traded one white wall for another white wall.
If you had questions on whether Mr. Berger here was a sociopath, just that's the only photo you actually need to look at.
You know what I think it's my cousin's. I think it has something to do with Fish, the band.
Yeah.
Brandon, it's ridiculous. It's like a fucking cult, man. It's just these Fish guys.
Brandon's been to more Fish shows than he's been days alive.
Ridiculous. They speak their own language. Yeah. It's like it's a lot.
Yeah. But they made that fish food ice cream by Ben and Jerry's.
Right.
Yes.
And I will tell you that the frozen yogurt version of that ice cream, there's the smallest drop off in deliciousness from the regular ice cream to the frozen yogurt for that flavor, better than any other Ben and Jerry's.
Which is a very good thing. Now, if you're getting that small drop off, frozen yogurt's a lot better for you.
It's less fattening, less cholesterol. So, I don't have to worry, but a lot of people do.
Humble brag, if you may.
Humble brag from Mr.
Was that a humble brag? I just want to brag.
I think it was just to drop the humble.
People accuse me of humble bragging all the time, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm bragging.
Yeah, I literally told you. This is Fish is a really good transition into our first segment of the day, fellas, because it is about illegal narcotics. Using data collected from the National Survey of Drug Use and Health, University of Cincinnati researchers analyzed responses from 168,000 Americans and found that between 2015 and 2018, LSD intake increased by 56.4% in the United States. Doctoral candidate Andrew Yockey told Scientific American LSD use has jumped even higher recently due to COVID and social unrest. Quote, LSD is used primarily to escape, and given that the world's on fire, people might be using it as a therapeutic mechanism, said Yockey. Now that's COVID's hit, I guess that has probably tripled. Robbie, is this news surprising to you?
Well, you know what? I got a bone to pick with LSD, believe it or not. I did it. Huntington Beach, California, on the beach. And it just didn't do anything for me. And I don't know if that says something about me, but it really just didn't do much for me. As far as people doing it more, I think it's great. From what I hear about it, it's kind of therapeutic. Apparently, there could be a couple bad trips here and there, but at the rate we're going right now, everybody's all pissed off. Take some LSD, but for me, it just didn't do it.
What do you mean it just didn't do it? You didn't feel it or you didn't enjoy it?
I swear to you, I didn't feel anything. I mean, maybe a little like lucid, but really nothing. And then, when my friends are tripping balls.
Yeah. Can you have the experience comparing it to mushrooms? Do you have that experience?
I liked mushrooms.
Yeah.
I like mushrooms, but isn't LSD stronger than mushrooms?
Yeah. So I've done mushrooms, and LSD is the reason I kind of am shying away is because I hear it lasts. It's like 10 hours. And if you're having a bad trip there, that could be a death sentence nearly. So
apparently it could fuck you up moving forward too if you have one of those bad trips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Francis, weigh in here, please.
I have never done acid. I'm afraid of it. But here's the thing. If all these people are trying acid because of, times are so bad or whatever, I've always had the mindset of, if I knew the world was going to end tomorrow, acid would not be the drug I would try. Heroin would be the drug I would try.
Yeah.
Because heroin has ruined so many lives that it has to be that good. It's kind of like that Louis C.K. joke about like child pedophilia. So to me, I would like to try, if I'm like, well, I only have one more day left to live. Like I want that falling into a warm bath heroin feeling. So that's my first thought. And then my second thought is the worst thing that ever happened for LSD was that Steve Jobs told everyone it was like the most important thing he ever did for his creative process.
Mm-hmm.
And then that led to all these people thinking that it was some magic key to unlock their iMac idea, right? But the reality is that for every one Steve Jobs, there were just 20,000 people that like either became frazzle-brained lunatics, or in Robbie's case, nothing happened, right? And it didn't really inspire some multi-billion-dollar company. So I don't know. I guess I would try LSD at some point, but I'm still a little nervous about it. I just think it could unlock some demons. But yeah, if for me, if this is the end of times, heroin or crack,
Right.
Crack might be up there too.
You know, it's funny. The reason I leveled with myself on doing it because of the Steve Jobs thing. I'm thinking, fuck, if Jobs is doing it, why can't I?
I mean,
Right.
Does the name Francis Crick ring a bell? The guy who discovered the double helix, he was on LSD. Doc Ellis, no hitter on LSD.
That's amazing to me. That's one of the most wild stories. I mean, that's nuts.
And
you
I
imagine?
so I've done mushroom. It's been the same family, mushrooms a few times, and I agree with Francis. Like I couldn't use them as a form of escapism. I'd have to do it if I was in a good place in my life, around good people, good weather, ideally. Those are my parameters for doing them, and then they can be the most profound experience ever. If I was like working stuff out in my head and I took them, it could turn real
bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing you say too. If you say it lasts 10 hours, you imagine you have a bad trip on it. 10 hours is going to feel like 2 weeks.
Yeah. There's no escaping.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Fortunately, no one will ever need to take drugs again to escape because a 17-year-old high schooler has healed the world. More than 1,700 people have signed a petition launched by a Californian high schooler urging Trader Joe's to change the labeling of some of its international food products, calling the grocery chain's branding racist. The petition reads, the grocery chain labels some of its ethnic food with modifications of Joe that belies a narrative of exoticism that perpetuates harmful stereotypes. It cites Trader Ming's, the grocery chain's label for its Chinese products, Arabian Joe for its Middle Eastern products, Trader Jose for its Mexican products, and a handful of other examples. The Trader Joe's branding is racist because it exoticizes other cultures. It presents Joe as the default normal and other characters following outside it, the petition says. Traders has since vowed to comply with the high schooler. Francis, is the world now a better place?
This one is tough because I see a couple different sides of this. And by the way, I feel like Matt's explanation of this story was kind of confusing. So I'm going to clear up a couple things because I blogged this story.
Go fuck yourself, Matt.
Yeah, this petition was circulated by a 17-year-old white girl on Twitter. And I didn't see a picture of her until I'd already written the story. And this girl's so white that she makes me look ethnically ambiguous. And the fact that she was so considerate as to see these items on the Trader Joe's shelves of, Trader Ming's, whatever, Trader Jose's taco shells, all these things, and that she took offense at it, speaks to how offended white women and young white people are becoming on behalf of others. Because when I went into the Twitter mentions about this story, all the entire Latin community was just being like, are you fucking kidding me? Trader Jose does not offend us at all. Jose is the Spanish name version of Trader Joe, of Joe. This makes sense. Why don't you spend your time, decrying the fact that we're being separated from our children at the border by ICE? And I think that is the big part. But at the same time, like when I read Trader Ming, I was like, oh yeah, that's got to go. And so I'm wondering, like, have I been coached by 17-year-old white girls into what I think is now racist? Like, have they incepted my brain? Is that where I learned where the line was? Because that means that they've got power, man. They got some serious power.
Yeah, I think you just might know where the grenades are. You know which words, you know the trigger words, you know. Ming is a little
Ming sounds bad, right?
yeah. But like there are so many Jose's you can point to in culture that it could be like it's pretty entwined, like Jose Canseco, you know, all like
that's what I said. Jose Aldo, Jose
Yes.
Altuve.
Yeah, I almost feel bad that I didn't, like, for me too, the Ming was like, oh, okay, I could see that. But for some reason, the Jose didn't get me as much. I thought the Ming was worse, but it's like, you know, it's, in all honesty, it's kind of getting exhausting. I think we got to kind of pick our spots as far as when something should be canceled, when something should not be canceled. You know, it makes me think what Francis said, that like the 17-year-olds are coming up with this. They got more power now than I think the younger generation ever has. Think what the damage they could even do on TikTok. And I mean, it sounds like the Latin community wasn't even that upset with it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it'd be one thing if they'd been like, you know, Trader Jose's manual labor taco shells or, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, what? It was just Trader Jose's taco shells. So, you know.
Yeah. And it's close enough to Joe for it to be a clever little play on words there, you know?
Right. Is Robbie's face frozen?
Robbie's face is he can't believe what he's hearing. Oh, God, he's in his cousin's fucking drug den. Sorry for you guys at home. Robbie is in his cousin's place who has the weirdest picture on his wall, and it appears he's having some difficulty. Oop, and he's out. His cousin's death pad.
I wish I had an answer for you guys. I really do.
All right, well, let's transition to our final story before Robbie leaves us here. The Alabama Crimson Tide locker room and football center underwent a $16 million renovation, adding personalized recliners, recovery pools, sleep pods, as well as a facelift to the Sports Science Center that offers students, athletes with plenty of treatment options, including massage therapy, cryotherapy, chiropractic, and mental health services. The Mal M. Moore Athletic Facility renovation is part of the school's Crimson Standard projects, a 10-year, $600 million boost to various athletic facilities across campus. $600 million. Robbie, as a Crimson Tide recruit, would you be seduced by these shiny new toys?
Hey, I wish I was a Crimson Tide recruit. The rich get richer. This is how college football works. The two things with college football, A, recruiting. If the coach can recruit, bingo. And B, you got to have the facilities for the recruiting. You have to have the money that gets put behind it. Another thing Alabama has for them, you can have a 1.5 GPA and get yourself into Alabama. So if you have a school where it's not that hard to get into academically, you have all of this different facility, recruiting for you is easier than ever. Nick Saban can go out and get just about anybody that he wants. This facility, I mean, Alabama's going to be good for years and years and years to come. And the only team that's kind of caught up to them, if you look at Clemson's facilities, who are now a powerhouse in college football, now they have the money to put back behind it, and now they're killing it too. These facilities are huge, huge for recruiting.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Francis?
Yeah. If I'm a player at Alabama, I don't think I like this. And let me tell you why. This is a daily reminder of how much money you're bringing into the school that is not going into your pocket.
Yeah.
That locker room, every day when you walk into it, because I guarantee you, by the way, the last locker room they had wasn't some crumbling, decrepit, waste, like fucking hole that needed a facelift that they finally raised the money for. I bet you they renovated that thing 3 years ago and it was state of the art to this day.
Right.
So the fact that you're seeing all these numbers, all these millions of dollars being put into this, a simple person might be like, oh, it's gotten better and better. But these athletes, are getting aware of like, boy, this thing costs a lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars, whatever. That's coming from us. And you're not giving it to us. Sure, it's nice that tangentially we get to experience the fruits of our labor, but you know what would be even better? Experiencing the fruits of our labor.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't think, for me, like we're getting to a tipping point with college athletes where, like, especially with this season being as weird as it is that we're looking at, like at some point, these guys are just gonna like organize, go on strike, refuse to play, and just say like whatever. I don't know. It's kind of my initial reaction.
Yeah, and that's why you see, unfortunately for football players, like basketball players, a lot of them are going to the G League now. They're going just to these NBA development programs. But football is kind of shit without a creek because it's like, it doesn't have that. So like, if I'm a recruit, am I going to be like, no, I'm going to go on strike for my only 3 years experience in college football? So it's kind of like the machine just keeps going because they funnel players in and out so often,
Right.
I mean, and the amount of money that they had to spend, did it say how much money they spent on that? I mean, it's ridiculous.
It was 16 million. And this is part of a 10-year, $600 million just for the athletic facilities in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how you'd pay them, but they deserve something more than a free, cryotherapy or whatever.
Right.
All right, fellas, that is our Wednesday edition of the Morning Jog. Thank you for participating. We will be here tomorrow again. We'll see you then. Peace.
Take care, ladies.